Welcome back. We will start SST chapter number 9, Delhi 12th to 15th century. So let we start. The chapter is 12th और 15th century, यानी कि 12वीं सदी से लेके 15वीं सदी तक हमारा दिल्ली जो है कैसी थी उसके बारे में आज हम जानेंगे. Learning outcomes is the slave dynasty, the Sayyid dynasty, the Khalji dynasty, the Lodi and the Tughlaq dynasty. In 1192, Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated by Muhammad Ghori in the second battle, ठीक है, ऑफ तराइन. तराइन के युद्ध में जो है, तराइन का जो दूसरा युद्ध हुआ था उसमें पृथ्वीराज चौहान को मोहम्मद गौरी ने हरा दिया था. With this, the Chamanas rule in Delhi came to an end and a new line of rulers came to power. So the new rulers of Delhi were took from Central Asia of Afghans called sultans. So the word sultanat mean the form of government of kingdom under the sultans. तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है सल्तनत का? किसके अंदर? सुल्तान के अंदर जो है सरकार. So Delhi under the rule of the sultans came to be known as the Delhi Sultanate by the 13th century. The sultans of Delhi were able to control vast areas and resources. With the accession of Qutbuddin Aibak to the throne of Delhi begins the history of the Delhi Sultanate in India. So it lasted for more than 320 years from AD 1206 to 1526. The rulers during this period called themselves sultans. Hence, their rule is known as that of the Delhi Sultanate. 5 dynasties ruled in this period. So they were the slave dynasty, the Khalji, the Tughlaq, the Sayyids and the Lodis. The slave dynasty, the rulers of this dynasty were known as the slaves or Mamluk sultans. So the slave dynasty was established by Qutbuddin Aibak in AD 1206. Aibak was also slave of Muhammad. Qutbuddin Aibak was the first ruler of Sultan of the slave dynasty. Qutbuddin conquered Ajmer, Jhansi, Delhi and Meerut. He used marriage alliance to strengthen his position. जो शादी के वो रखता था ना, वो उसकी पोजीशन के अकॉर्डिंग. Aibak was also a lover of art and literature. He built 2 mosques, the Quwaitul Islam Mosque in Delhi and the Adhai Din Ka Jhopda in Ajmer. So he started work on the Qutub Minar but did not complete it. So he died after an accidental fall while playing polo in 1210. Iltutmish, Qutbuddin Aibak's son-in-law, ascended the throne in 1210 AD. To win the support of the nobles, he granted them territorial possessions and concentrated his efforts on strengthening his empire. While recovering lost territories, he also strengthened the northwestern frontier of his empire to safeguard it against Mongol invasion. In order to introduce efficiency in his administration, Iltutmish organized his nobility into a select group of 40 nobles called Chalisa or Chehalgani. Several scholars and artists entered India fleeing from the onslaught of the Mongols. They received the protection of Iltutmish. Razia Sultan. After the death of Iltutmish, his son ascended the throne, who proved to be an ineffective ruler. He ruled for 7 months. Later on the throne went to Iltutmish's daughter Razia. Razia was just in genius. Razia was the first and last woman who sat on the throne of Delhi. Razia had to face many challenges. Why? Because of she is a woman. Okay, she was a woman. So the main one being that she was a woman in a man's world. She also faced opposition. So the refusal of the nobles to accept a woman as their ruler finally led to her downfall. Razia's reign was followed by a period of instability. Her younger brother Nasruddin was put on the throne, but the real power lay in the hands of his guardian Ghiyazuddin Balban. Ghiyazuddin Balban, after the death of Nasruddin Balban, came to power in AD 1266. He was an able, noble and proved to be the most powerful ruler of the slave dynasty. As the Sultan Balban reorganized and strengthened the army, Balban wanted the people to look up to the Sultan and regard him in high esteem. For this, he introduced the Persian customs of Sizda, and Payuts or Zaminotes. When Balban died, the Turkish rule had been firmly established in Delhi. So the Ganga, Yamuna, Doab, and eastern Rajasthan. Balban's successors were, however, weak. Once again, the power of nobility prevailed. This time, the Khalji nobles captured the throne of Delhi in the 1290. The Khalji dynasty. Balban died in 1287. His successor proved to be weak and incompetent. In 1290, a noble named Jalaluddin Khalji established the Khalji dynasty in India. So, Jalaluddin Khalji at 1290-1296. Firoz Shah took the name of Jalaluddin when ascending the throne. He was 70 years old by then. He was a benevolent ruler, but his administration has been criticized as being weak. The most important event during his rule was the attack of the Mongols, which was repulsed by Jalaluddin. He was treacherously killed by his ambitious nephew Alauddin Khalji. उसी के भतीजे ने मार दिया था उसको. So who went on to succeed him to the throne of Delhi? Alauddin Khalji, 1296-1360. According to the Ibn Battuta, Alauddin Khalji was to be considered one of the best sultan, but he was also known to be a cruel and resolute ruler. In 1297, annexed Gujarat, Malwa, and Mewar and captured the forts of Ranthambore and Chittor. He captured Devgiri in 1307. He defeated the rulers of Rangal, Dwar Samudra, and Mysore. He even went deep down south and drained the wealth of Madurai and Rameswaram. So Alauddin thus became the first ruler of the Delhi Sultanate to extend his kingdom south of the river Narmada. Administrative reforms. Alauddin made his army very strong and powerful. He organized his forces and paid his soldiers and officers according to their rank. Khaljis introduced branding of horses called dag. Divaniyars was the head of the military department. Spies were kept in every unit of the army. Land revenue. Land revenue मतलब जो जमीन से टैक्स दिया जाता था. Khalji made reforms in the land revenue system also. All land was measured and the share of the government was fixed. So, Mustakars was the officer responsible for collecting land revenue from the peasants, जिसको कहते हैं लगान. Economic reforms. A large number of economic reforms were carried out, but Alauddin Khalji issued certain regulations about fixing the prices of food products, clothes, and other consumables. The rates were also fixed for milch animals, horses, slaves, maidservants, and concubines. He appointed officers for checking the markets to see whether the fixed rates are in practice. So merchants and traders were required to register their concern. Government helped the traders with cash loans. Sarai Adil was a huge market established by Alauddin Khalji under the Badayu gates. Measures against nobility. Alauddin Khalji established Siri, the second city of Delhi, 3 miles northeast of the Qutub Minar, to ensure a constant supply of water. To Siri, Alauddin exhibited a large tank here at 1300 known as Hauze-Ilahi. Alauddin Khalji patronized many scholars. Amir Khusro was a poet in Alauddin Khalji's court. After Alauddin's death, his general Malik Kafur placed Alauddin's minor son on the throne and tried to rule in his name. But they were both put to death in 1320. The last Khalji ruler, Khusro Khan, was killed by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, who founded the Tughlaq dynasty. The Tughlaq dynasty. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He was the founder of the Tughlaq dynasty in India. He defeated Mongols several times. He killed Khusro Khan and became the Sultan of Delhi. He was a wise and generous ruler. He died in 1325 after annexing Bengal and Tirut to his empire. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he is known in Indian history as a confused genius. He was a man who thought ahead of the time. So his plans and intentions were good, but carried out thoughtlessly and in a hurry, which resulted in their failure. In 1326, the Sultan ordered his capital to be transferred from Delhi to Devgiri in the Deccan. He had a name, the new capital of Dolatabad. So Muhammad Tughlaq's idea of changing the capital was not wrong, for his empire had extended deep into the south and Delhi was in the north. Again, Delhi was invaded repeatedly by the Mongols, but his folly lay in that he ordered the population of Delhi as well to shift to Devgiri. It was an unwise step because the people suffered many hardships on their way, even at Devgiri, that found themselves among hostile people, and the climate also was not suitable. On the other hand, the Mongol raids on Delhi rapidly increased. Now the Sultan also realized his folly and in desperation ordered the people to journey back to Delhi. So this foolishness of the Sultan not only caused a huge sum to the treasury but also caused death and misery to the people of Delhi. 4 years afterwards, Delhi wore a deserted look and did not regain its earlier grandeur. Dog taxations. In all Adiba advised financial experiments was made by him in the Doab between the Ganga and Jamuna. So he increased the rate of taxation and also created some additional assets. He also introduced house and pasture tax. This proved harmful to the peasants who revolted against the king, and he had to withdraw these taxes. Introduction of token currency. In the 14th century, there was a shortage of silver all over the world. Muhammad Tughlaq introduced a bronze coin which was to have the same value as that of the silver coin, but he could not stop the people from forging the currency, which resulted in the devaluation of government currency. Expedition to the northwest. In 1337-38, Muhammad bin Tughlaq undertook an expedition to China and Karachi in the Kumaon Garhwal region of the Himalayas. It was another disaster. In Ibn Battuta says, whether this Karachi expedition succeeded or not, it led to the death of all his soldiers, excepting a few. Administrations. However, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was an excellent administrator. His conquest of Warangal, Malabar, Dwar Samudra, modern Helbed, and even Madurai, leaving out the Hoysalas, made his empire one of the largest ever ruled by any Muslim ruler in India. So larger even than that of Akbar later. He did not allow religion and administration to mix, hence he did not permit the ulemas either to interfere in politics or to dominate him. So revenue records for all the provinces were compiled under his instructions. Administration under the Tughlaq. Iqtas. The Tughlaqs carried on which the administrative structure handed down to them for the time of Iltutmish. Iltutmish had divided the whole empire into several large and small pieces of land called Iqtas. Okay, instead of paying the nobles, officers and religious leaders of his empire a salary, he had given them Iqtas. The officials or the Iqtidars had to pay the king a portion of the revenue they collected from the land. So they also had to maintain a body of troops. Since the Sultan was dependent on the supply of troops, it made the Iqtidars powerful. The stronger Sultan like Muhammad bin Tughlaq repeatedly tried to break the power of the Iqtidars by redistributing the Iqtas. But during the rule of the relatively weak Firoz Shah, Iqtas became hereditary passed from father to son and finally became the base of powerful fiefdoms. Land tax, यानी कि जमीन भूमि का टैक्स. The tax charge on the land varied from ruler to ruler. Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq reduced the steep land tax imposed by Alauddin Khilji, but Muhammad bin Tughlaq raised it again, especially in the Doha. Firoz Shah Tughlaq reduced it again. मतलब ऐसे ही घटाते बढ़ाते रहेंगे, कभी बढ़ जाता कभी घट जाता इस तरह से. Timur's invasion. Timur was a Mongol, the ruler of Samarkand in Central Asia. Timur was on the lookout to attack Delhi in 1398. When he came to know of the chaos due to rebellions and weakening power of the central authority, Timur got an opportunity to fulfill his desire. Like a hurricane, stormed and destroyed everything that came his way. He ruthlessly massacred people. After the devastation, Timur soon left Delhi. It is sad that he almost left it depopulated with the loot. He beautified his capital, Samarkand, with beautiful buildings, palaces, and mosques. Sayyid dynasty. Khizr Khan. Khizr Khan was the founder of Sayyid dynasty. He ruled over Delhi for about 8 years, but his rule reign was marked by chaos and disorder. In fact, he was appointed by Amir Timur as a government of Multan, Lahore, and Dipalpur. He died in 1421. Nubag Shah. He was the son of Khizr Khan. The whole of his reign of 13 years was spent in trying to suppress the revolts of the Subedar of Punjab, Bhatinda, and Doab. He was succeeded by Bahlol Lodi. He defeated Muhammad Shah. He too, and to fight his rebels all the time. So he died in 1445 and was succeeded by his son Alauddin Alam Shah. Alauddin Alam Shah, he was the most incompetent Sayyid Sultan of Delhi. He himself handed over the throne of Delhi to the Subedar of Lahore, Bahlol Lodi, and tried to Badaun. Lodi dynasty. Bahlol Lodi founded the Lodi dynasty. He conquered the territories around Delhi. After continuous wars for 26 years, he succeeded in extending his authority over Jaunpur, Rewari, Etawah, Mewar, Sambhal, and Gwalior. So he died in 1488. Sikandar Lodi. Bahlol Lodi's son Nizam Khan ascended the throne of Delhi in 1488 and assumed the name Sikandar Lodi. He added Dholpur, Chanderi, and Jaunpur to his empire. He introduced several reforms and provided an efficient administration. He was a great lover of art and culture. He transferred his capital from Delhi to Agra. Agra was founded by him. So, Ghazi Sikandari was introduced by him to measure cultivated lands. He died in 1570. Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi ascended the throne in 1517 when Sikandar Lodi died. His ill treatment turned the loyal Afghan nobles against him, and they hatched a conspiracy to declare his uncle Jalal Khan as the Lodi invited the Mughal king Babur to invade India. So in the Battle of Panipat in 1526, Ibrahim Lodi was killed and thus ended the Delhi Sultanate and Lodi dynasty. Sultan were pleasure-loving and weak ruler. The nobles were opportunities and revolted whenever they found the occasions for that. So they lacked loyalty to the Sultan. The army was ill-organized and ill-disciplined. Most of the Sultan depended on the army of their loyal nobles. The vast empire was again in chaos. So there were no good communication or transport system. The Jagirdari system was erroneous. It weakened the central government. The invasions of the Mongols also weakened the empire. Timur struck a fatal blow to the Tughlaqs while Babur ended the Sultanate in Delhi. Causes of downfall to the Delhi Sultanate. Some of the causes of downfall of the Delhi Sultanate are as follows, which the Delhi Sultan conquered Delhi by their armies but failed to win the confidence and love the natives. Imposition of jizya tax on Hindus increased. The hatred and Hindus became their enemies. Powerful amirs and nobles were cause of downfalls. The revival of Jagirdari system by Firoz Tughlaq was an important factor. The vast and enlarged empire could not be controlled due to lack of means of communication. Babur's invasion on this disintegrated Sultanate was the final blow for its downfall. Okay, so the all topics covered in this chapter. I hope you all are very well understanding. We will meet you in the next class. Thank you.